Welcome to our webinar on Indian engineering industry. This webinar is a part of iFaber-Official Newsletter of Faber Infinite for the month of March 2017. I am Renuka Brahmabat and with us we have Mr. Jalay Pandya, the subject matter expert. Let me brief you all about him. He is one of the founding members and directors of Faber Infinite Creative Solutions Private Limited. He is an organization turnaround specialist and he has a knack in identifying capacity limitations. Now let me just kickstart this interview by asking Mr. Jalay Pandya a few questions. So here Jalay Pandya is our first question. As per as per you, what is the current scenario? How do you see the Indian engineering sector?
Thank you very much, Renuka, for giving me a chance to speak with you and our listeners. If you ask me about the current scenario, I think the growth is phenomenal over last couple of years, especially after our Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Modi's initiative of Make in India. We can see that things are going in a right direction. There is a increase in investment, especially in infrastructure and industrial engineering production, and being closely associated with these sectors. I can tell you, in fact, recently I was going through some data of Reserve Bank of India, and there is also increase in terms of exports at the CAGR of around 7 to 8%. So overall, there's a phenomenal growth of this sector.
Right, then we move on to our next question. As per you, what are the drivers that industry should take into consideration?
It's a very apt question at this point of time when everyone is talking about Make in India and Skill India. I think there are three drivers I would like to focus upon. One is about building competitiveness in whatever we are doing, because making in India is one thing, but what is more important is, are we creating a world class quality so that we can make in India and export it to other countries on foreign exchange. So building competitiveness is one. Second is, that is only possible if we focus on skill development. We focus on skill development at a grassroots level. And that's where the major issue is, that majority of our people working in this sector are working at a grassroots level and they don't have formal skill. So that is another driver for success. If we focus on improving their skill levels, definitely it is going to help. And the third, which is furthermore important, and now we are saying that it's an era of manufacturing 4.0, or it's a smart manufacturing, where there would be more and more interaction between machine to machine interaction. So we should also utilize big data analytics and certain operational intelligence tools to make our manufacturing smarter. If we focus on these three things, then definitely these are the drivers to success.
Let me come to the last question of this session. How is Team Faber helping its clients in engineering sector?
Yeah, it's a very interesting question, and wherever I go, at least I get this question. And if you ask me, we as a Faber Infinite, as a consulting firm, we help our clients mainly in three areas. Point number one is, we, with our providing our consulting services to build competitiveness, and how we do it, we actually focus on four M's, which is man, machine, method, and material. And we strongly believe that if we take care of these four M's, definitely there would be a much better result any industry can deliver. But at the same time, we also realize that while doing this, there's lots of subjective skill assessment or skill gap analysis which was not yielding a correct result. And that is why we have come up with the online tool, we call it as a Prisma, which is a very objective and focused for skill gap analysis, which will further strengthen the skill development. And at the same time, even in my earlier answer, what I mentioned is smart manufacturing, where decision makers do require certain dashboards and big data and operational intelligence tools. That's where we come up with another tool, we call it as a Conjo Smart, which will be focusing on technology and smart manufacturing. So we are trying to provide a kind of a 360-degree solution and we would always like to be a one-stop shop for our client. I think that is it from my side.
All right, thank you, Mr. Pandya. It was great speaking to you, and thank you for sharing your valuable insights on the industry.
Thank you, Renuka. Thank you very